Today I am testing out Uzbekistan's Superfast AFROSIYOB. The journey will take us from Tashkent to Samarkand in business class and then onwards to Bukhara in economy. So come along as I review every part of the experience and also share some helpful tips in relation to train travel in Uzbekistan. The adventure begins in the Uzbek capital of Tashkent. Hello guys, and welcome back to Uzbekistan. Today we're gonna ride Central Asia's first high-speed train, the so-called AFROSIYOB. The first leg will be line 772, departing Tashkent at 7:44 p.m. and arriving in Samarkand at 10:06. A couple of days later, I'll take line 770, which leaves Samarkand at 11:03 a.m. and gets to Bukhara 1 hour and 43 minutes later. As such, I'll travel the entire length of the country's high-speed network. But first, let's have a look at Tashkent Central Station. The first station that stood here was built in the late 19th century when Tashkent was part of the Russian Empire. The current building dates from 1957, but it was modernized on various occasions, including in 2011 when the first part of the high-speed rail line to Samarkand was completed. The name is a bit confusing as it is sometimes referred to as Northern Station, but on my ticket it said Central. Might be the same thing though. You have to pass a security check before entering, but there are no restrictions on liquids or aerosols. Not sure about sharp objects though, as I wasn't carrying any. The station hall is relatively modern and there are plenty of coffee shops and snack bars, but the main cafeteria was closed for some reason. There are staffed ticket offices, but you can also buy tickets on the website, which worked very well when I used it. Most of Uzbekistan's rail network uses old Russian trains, but a lot of lines are being upgraded and newer trains are popping up all over the country. And here is our train, the stunning looking AFROSIYOB. It is a 250 series built by Spanish manufacturer Talgo, and it is named after the archaeological site of AFROSIYOB, which is an ancient city north of Samarkand. This train has 2 VIP cars, which is first class, 2 business class carriages and 4 economy wagons. There is also a restaurant car and 2 locomotives, adding up to 9 cars in total. And finally, the top speed of this train is 250 km an hour. At the time of filming, Uzbekistan's high-speed rail network comprises one line between Tashkent and Bukhara, but it will be extended all the way to Khiva in the near future. Better still, the Uzbek railway company ordered some South Korean KTX trains that will be faster than the current Talgo sets. So, how good is today's offer? Well, let's get on board and find out, shall we? I am in business class on this journey, which is the second best product. The cabin is in a standard 1+2 configuration. And yeah, while the seat isn't all that cutting edge, it is very comfortable and the legroom is good. There is a tray table, a footrest, and the padding is relatively soft. There is plenty of luggage storage, and apparently this train also has Wi-Fi, but it didn't work on either of my 2 journeys. There are also European-style plugs under the seat, and those did work. Anyhow, we departed bang on time and we're now heading south toward Samarkand. I did get to see the sunset on the outskirts of Tashkent, but the rest of the journey happened pretty much in total darkness. My carriage had an accessible toilet, which was very clean. Better still, my business class ticket included some free snacks and coffee. I was in the mood for something else though, so I went to the restaurant car where they sell beer. It was a bit more expensive than usual, but sipping on some lager while doing 200 plus kilometers an hour is always a unique experience. The rest of the journey was pretty uneventful, and while this train is fast, it does shake quite a bit and the ride isn't the best. Anyhow, we arrived in Samarkand bang on time at 10:06 p.m. I then spent a couple of days exploring the incredible Silk Road town of Samarkand, which has some of the most jaw-dropping architecture in all of Central Asia. If you want to know more about Samarkand, I filmed a city tour here, which is already on the channel. It was then time to return to the train station, which is located about 7 kilometers from the old town. To get there, I took a Yandex taxi, and it was less than €1.50 for a 30-minute journey. Gotta love Uzbekistan. Samarkand railway station first opened in 1888 during the Russian Empire, but much like Tashkent, it was modernized during the Soviet period and later in the 2010s. Today, it is a clean and functional transport hub with all the usual amenities. And whilst it's similar to Tashkent main station, I found it a bit more airy and pleasant. On my second journey to Bukhara, I was in economy class and I couldn't choose my seat because everything was full, so I had to sit in a group of 4. The economy product is actually quite similar to business class, but it is in a 2+2 layout, so the seats aren't as wide. They have decent legroom though, and you also get a tray table and power sockets, but there is obviously no free snack service. We were traveling without any delays, and on this journey I got to marvel at the sheer emptiness of Uzbekistan's countryside. Uzbekistan is more densely populated than Kazakhstan, for example, as they do have about 80 people per square kilometer, but the vast majority live in big cities, so the rural areas are completely empty. As we are getting closer to Bukhara, let me share some essential tips for train travel in Uzbekistan. First of all, if you want to take this particular train, you have to book it well in advance. That is because international and local tour operators buy up all the tickets, so they sell out. I bought my tickets about a month in advance, and VIP class was full on both journeys, while business class was also full on the second journey, and in economy there were just a few seats left. On the plus side, the website is decent and it works well with international credit cards. If you don't manage to snatch a ticket on the AFROSIYOB, you can naturally ride one of the older trains, but those can easily take 3 times as long and they are far less reliable. But it would probably be a cool retro experience. here are the fares that I paid. If you ask me whether business class is worth it, I would say not really. It's a slight improvement over economy, but the price is double. And that is it for today. As always, thanks very much for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye.